We are still reviewing the Minnesota Vikings victory over the Arizona Cardinals in thrilling fashion, 23-22. And one of the topics that needs to be addressed is the Aaron Jones fallout, because the game against the Arizona Cardinals was by far his worst game as a Minnesota Viking and probably the worst game of his career. 2 fumbles, 1 lost, dropped touchdown pass, but at the end of the game, he caught a touchdown, walked into the end zone from Sam Darnold, and the narrative completely shifts to Aaron Jones is the scapegoat to, I've always believed in Aaron Jones. I've always got his back without a doubt, no question whatsoever. And I'm not going to lie, I never do. That narrative switch bothers me because the Minnesota Vikings won the game. They won 23-22. If, let's just say, Sam Darnold throws a pick on the last drive, hypothetically, Aaron Jones is not being looked at the same following the Vikings' loss if they did lose. Everyone would be pointing the finger at Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is washed. He's done. Vikings should not resign him. 5 carries, 22 yards, 2 fumbles, drop touchdown pass. Put in Cam Akers, start him next week. He fumbled last week against the Bears at the 1-yard line. But now everything has changed. Kevin O'Connell in the locker room afterwards talks about how we have his back and never gave up on you, never doubted his ability to come back and make big plays. And my first thought is, yes, you did. After Aaron Jones' second fumble, he was immediately benched for Cam Akers and Ty Chandler. And you don't have to look that hard to figure out that information. Because look at this. Rushing attempts. Sam Darnold, 4. Cam Akers, 4. Aaron Jones, 5. Ty Chandler, 2. This is by far the lowest rushing attempts of the season for Aaron Jones. And Cam Akers had 1 less rushing attempt than him. Ty Chandler had 3 less rushing attempts than him. And when is the last time Ty Chandler got run in an NFL game? So, you could talk about how you didn't doubt him, how you always believed in him. But at the same time, you did doubt him. You did question his ability, because it's not like you put him right back in the game following his 2 fumbles. He sat on the bench during that second quarter, for most of that third quarter, and for most of that final drive. Cam Akers was in the ball game until the final touchdown catch that Aaron Jones secured to win the game for the Minnesota Vikings. So you can tell me all this, we believed in him, we believed in him, we believed in him. We never doubted you. We had no hesitation. You're the guy, you're the guy, you're the guy. But the facts would tell us otherwise. Because Ty Chandler, the last time he had a rushing attempt on the Minnesota Vikings was against Jacksonville. He had 4 carries for 18 yards. And the last time he had a rushing attempt before that was versus Detroit. 2 carries for 4 yards. So, since the Detroit game, he went 0 for 0 versus the Rams. No rushing attempts against the Colts. Rushing attempt against Jacksonville. No rushing attempt against Titans. No rushing attempt against the Chicago Bears. So, he's had 6 rushing attempts in the last 6 or 7 weeks. And then you're going to come with this mumbo jumbo of I never doubted, never hesitated to put Aaron Jones back in the game. Yes, you did. And I love Kevin O'Connell. I think he's one of the best coaches of the year and one of the best coaches in the Minnesota Vikings history of the franchise. But when you spew this mumbo jumbo of we never doubted you. I'm going to see right through that BS, and I'm going to call it out for what it is. And Sam Darnold was interviewed after the game by Pam Oliver. And, of course, players are going to echo similar sentiment. And you know what? I don't want the head coach or players to come out and say, you know what, Aaron Jones lost the game for us. Players, of course, are never going to say that about any player. But what they don't have to say is, oh, we never doubted you. We never hesitated to put you back in the game. That's just a flat out lie. What they could say is, you know what? It's not all on Aaron Jones. Like, we could have blocked better. We could have done this better. We could have moved the ball better offensively. Don't put this entire loss on Aaron Jones when it kind of was. If it would have been a loss on the Minnesota Vikings. But they're going the other direction. We never lost confidence in Aaron Jones. So that's Sam Darnold on Aaron Jones's fumbles. And I talked about what Kevin O'Connell said earlier. Something that is concerning over the Aaron Jones fumbles. It's not just that he fumbled, but he had warning signs to hold on to the football better, and he still didn't. Last week against the Bears, he fumbles at the 1-yard line. Okay? He doesn't fumble for the rest of the game. And when that happens, you would think that as a player, you would just be extra secure with the football so that you don't give it up, right? You know, you throw a pick six. Aren't you a little bit more careful with how you take care of the football moving forward in that game? Maybe you take a little less risks. Maybe you hold on to the football a little bit tighter if you're Aaron Jones. And in the same game, he fumbled on, the Vikings' first offensive possession of the game. But he was extremely lucky and fortunate that Brian O'Neill jumped right on the football, went right to him. And you would think that that would have been a great warning sign to Aaron Jones. Hey, watch out for the football. You're a little loose today. Their guys are going for the punch out. Hang on to that thing. And the fact that he didn't is what makes it all the more concerning. You know, he had a warning sign and he didn't listen to it. He coughed up the football on a pass from from Sam Darnold, and it went to the Arizona Cardinals. Fortunately for Aaron Jones, he might be the luckiest player in the NFL today following the Vikings win, because when he fumbled, the Arizona Cardinals did not score. They missed a field goal. When he dropped the touchdown pass, he got another chance later on in that game to score a touchdown. And the fact that the Arizona Cardinals had a intentional grounding penalty late in the game, and the fact that the Vikings were extremely lucky to get the benefit of the call from NFL officials on the offsides encroachment penalty from Tillery, and they called it a false start instead, moves it back, intentional grounding next. The Minnesota Vikings won that game, but definitely got some fortunate breaks at the end of the game from NFL officiating, because then they kick the field goal, keeps the Vikings in the game, and then they march down to score a touchdown late. So Aaron Jones, he's a good player, but this was by far his worst game as a Minnesota Viking. And it brings up concerns over the future of the running back position, because he's under a 1-year contract right now. What makes Aaron Jones good is his ability to catch passes out of the backfield. He's got 32 catches this year, which is really good. But if he's going to keep fumbling the ball the way he is, the Minnesota Vikings need to look in another direction for RB1 next year, and maybe that's the draft. Maybe there's a guy in the draft that they like, that they want to bring in. But the one thing that I do like about Aaron Jones is his ability to get something out of nothing. You know, so many times you see a defensive player in the backfield immediately, and what Aaron Jones is able to do is he's able to take a negative 3-yard run and at least get back to the line of scrimmage. So he's good in that sense. He's got some burst, and hopefully at the end of the season, I guess the goal is that Aaron Jones could really turn it on following, a disappointing performance versus the Cardinals and versus the Bears last week. So you see the narrative. You see they don't give up. You see the hesitation or no hesitation to put Aaron Jones back in the game, but don't believe that garbage. Look at the facts. Listen to this podcast. Watch this podcast. Thank you for making this podcast a part of your day.